Isn't it wild? Especially when those people talk specifically about having thick skin and stuff like that. You should have heard when Sean called me with the complete bitch up on the Montegraph thing. This guy, Sean, talks like he is a badass attorney with all these cool stories and stuff like that. I mean, look at him. It's never been true. It's never been true at all. Nagadashi says, Sean and Aaron are colluding. Sounds like paranoia. I didn't say colluding. I said talking to him behind the scenes. Just honestly represent what's going on here. But why is it weird? When I accused him of it before, Aaron called the police. He hacked me. That's so silly. It wasn't hard to figure out.
You know, something bad happens to him the morning of the hearing and he can't make it. Hey, man, can we continue this? You just told this other guy to go f himself. What do you think he's going to do when it matters? He's going to tell you to f yourself. More importantly, the judge knows now you're being an asshole. Why do you want to look like an asshole in front of the judge before you even get to the hearing? I don't get it. But remember, this man gave us a Frank's motion. Frank wrote the Frank's motion, and you know, maybe you know, he's just unrecognized in our time. Just, you don't do this. This is not common courtesy anywhere you go. I don't care if you're in, you know, New York City or Boston, where, you know, Tim Bradle and Hank Brennan are.
New York City, Boston. It doesn't matter where you are. It's a posture between the two parties. I'm tired of this legal figotry that's going on. I'm tired of someone who says that they will kill me coming out with a bitch up and asking the court for protection for me, who's never said anything like that. I said he should himself, I think, in a text message. Actually, I think I said the world would be better off if you ended yourself, was the text message I sent. But that's not a threat. That's not any sort of attack. That's an opinion given to someone, and it's an honest opinion. I don't know why Nick would oppose this. Why would I grant him any space at all? Like, what are you talking about? I would never hire this man. Like, obviously, I wouldn't hire this man because I can't imagine the amount of money spent on Rolos annually by him, but I couldn't hire this man at all after seeing this. His analysis is so soberingly stupid.
Figure that out. But instead, you know, Frank White wanted to be about it. Like, or if Nick really told him to do this, like, it's even worse because, you know, Nick, you used to be an attorney.
Still am an attorney.
To go to court. You understand. Well, I don't know if you understand courtesies. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah. I also understand when they don't apply. Why are you pretending that courtesy is universal and universally deserved? It's not. Sometimes when someone's pulling bullshit, you just call it bullshit because it's what it is. And again, Sean knows this. This is one of the most, Sean is either wildly incompetent, which I don't actually believe. This analysis is trash, but I don't believe he's incompetent to the level that he has to be for this to be true. Or in the alternative, he's completely dishonest. And that's what's happening here. Sean basically laid out that he was going to be dishonest in regards to me a long time ago. And he has been for quite a while. And this is before I was arrested.
And he's like, I'll make a decision here. The request for continuance is granted, and it should have been.
The idea that opposing it meant that we thought it would be not granted is silly. But you sometimes have to set the tone. There's no reason to be conciliatory on a false HRO. Zero. None at all. Even if you know you're going to lose. Like, what if in the future, this is going to be a one hearing endeavor. There isn't a future. There isn't something. This hearing is going to decide whether or not the HRO stands. The only reason there would be a second hearing is if the HRO does stand, there would be a motion to vacate filed probably monthly because this is insane. But that being said, This is a one-shot deal. Sean's like, oh, what if you have to have an extension later? What later? What later are you talking about? This is it's one and done. This is not a long, like, drawn out process with multiple hearings and all of this stuff. It's taken care of at one hearing. It's probably going to be 30 minutes to an hour tops. Nakadashi Toma whatever says, so Sean was right. Judge denied your objection. It wasn't an objection. It was an opposition. Those are different things. We opposed the request. He granted the request for continuance. A request for a continuance, especially the first one in a matter, is almost always going to be granted. Almost always. Even over opposition. It's not necessarily about getting the thing done. It's about setting the posture. This HRO is bullshit. Anyone who looks at it can tell that it's bullshit, even if they don't know the scenario, because the elements required for hitting a restraining order are not actually in there. They're, in the loosest sense, maybe present. And again, they grant ex parte orders exceedingly liberally and broadly. Anyone can get these. It's really simple. It's much harder the moment someone responds and you have to go into court and pass an actual legal standard, especially while having opposition. But when there is no defense, yes, they grant them really simply. Again, the fact that Aaron didn't get what he asked for is probably because he drafted it himself and didn't hire competent counsel to go ahead and help him out in the first place. He may have had help from a friend or something, drafting it. I don't know. Or if he just did it completely on his own, it doesn't really matter. Whatever group or individual drafted his petition did it incompetently. He wasn't given what he was asked for. When you can get what you're asking for because there's no defense, you can generally get anything you want from an HRO, because a judge will grant it so long as there is any reasonableness to the allegations. You don't even have to back it up with factual or with evidence. You just make the claims and they grant them. Just before anybody freaks out, this is just blood orange San Pellegrino. It's just flavored water. There's no, it's not like a White Claw or anything. Sometimes when people see these cans, they're like, oh my God, is that no, this is like flavored water.
You might want to get a new attorney, brother. There's still time. You've got till the 23rd. You got 6 days. Get that checkbook out, man. I'm sure you can find somebody for some money here real quick. But this is fucking pathetic. This is bitch made. And
he takes appointed defense cases. Calling anybody bitch made, that's going to be a big stretch there. Sean. Calling anybody bitch. First of all, you were a prosecutor. Bitch made by nature. Second of all, you take appointed cases. You're bitch made to the government on a constant basis. I would have preferred to have the hearing on the 15th. 23rd gives us more time to prepare. That being said, the judge's reasoning in this is actually pretty frustrating. I don't care about Melton's issues in his case in regards to mine. Why is a judge bringing another case in response to my opposition to this continuance request? Why does Melton's case have any bearing on my continuance request? It shouldn't. Legally, it can't, but yet it does. It's like, oh, in a different case for a different client, you did this. The cases are somewhat related only because of the petitioner being the same in both of them. But other than that, Melton's case is independent of mine. Mine is independent of his. My opposition has nothing to do with whether or not Patrick Melton has to fly across country or not, and has nothing to do with whether or not Francis asked for a continuance in Melton's case. That's crazy. That reasoning by the judge is unsound and unsavory. But that said, like I said, you're almost always going to get granted a continuance. It's not about necessarily having the continuance declined or not. The opposition is noted.
There's going to be a potential for a conflict of interest for Frank White, depending on how these hearings go.
What are Melton or Nick going to blame each other for on an HRO that raises a potential conflict? The matters asserted in the HRO don't overlap between Melton and Nick. Like, I can't blame Melton for Aaron's problems with my tweets. Aaron didn't say Patrick Melton did this in my HRO. He said Nick did this. That's what matters. Again, I'd like incompetence or dishonesty. What are you talking about? He's trying to create the appearance of a conflict where one won't be. Because again, the accused behavior doesn't overlap Melton and me. Like, if Melton and I both went to Stoney's, which we did, right? Like, we both went to Stoney's. There's a picture of us there. Okay. Melton being at Stoney's and I being at Stoney's have nothing to do with each other than like we both went to Stoney's. Now, we may have agreed to go to Stoney's or whatever, but Aaron's problem with me being at Stoney's can't be that Melton was at Stoney's. That can't be the basis of his HRO. I don't have that level of association with Melton, and like it would require an agency relationship of some kind. And Aaron doesn't allege that I do. So what are you talking about? He's making shit up for the purpose of trying to raise confusion. Again, dishonesty. He's trying to make something out to be improper where no impropriety has occurred because he's a liar, just like he lies to himself about his diet.
I like what more do you want? Like, you can't sit there and argue that they haven't acted like idiots and dickheads in the meantime, too.
You absolutely can. What are you talking about? What idiot dickhead thing have either of us done in the meantime? So he's saying from the issuance of the HRO till now, what idiotic dickhead thing? Melton has barely mentioned Aaron. He's significantly set back his talking about it. I haven't gone on many shows. I think I went on Pretty Antisocial to explain the HRO and to talk about problems with it. But other than that, that's about it. Like, what idiotic dickhead things have we done? Why don't you lay that out?
So I don't know how much more clear to say that. I still think he is going to lose, especially against Nick. I still think he loses.
Because of my big arms.
Merely because Nick is Kayla's husband and Kayla is the victim of the case that Aaron is the defendant on. I guess I'll...
Oh, did you put that together? What, that he filed a retaliatory HRO and it's really obvious? And that might be a violation of his release conditions? That this is an exceedingly stupid thing to do? Like, I have held off. On all of on any legal actions that I could take against Aaron, because I held off at first because he was a potential witness in my case. And I just didn't want any appearance, even the appearance of witness influencing or tampering. Not at all. I certainly didn't want to leverage a legal system against him. I had everything I needed to completely discredit him in my criminal case if we went to trial and he was a witness. I didn't need any legal action to do so. I would have much prefer he not commit a crime against my wife. Like, that would be a nice thing to have not happened. That would be great. But he did that.
NLO November 9th Twitter post, a Rekieta Twitter post, a bunch of Twitter posts, June 29th, 2020.
This is really weird. So this is his exhibit list in my case. Right. It says Aaron Imholtz HRO exhibits. This was the one in my case. And why are Melton's posts on mine? This one's really funny, for example, like number 12, Patrick Melton's stream, June 28th, 2025. Nick won't be involved in killing Aaron. Cool. Why is my HR, like, why why would you put that on my HRO? Like, that doesn't help your case at all. That says I won't be involved in the killing of Aaron. If I won't be involved, then what are we even talking about? Why are you putting that on your exhibit list? But this looks like a combined exhibit list that if I'm not mistaken, he used the exact same one for Melton.
25. From the Rekieta Twitter page.
Yeah, why? This one's amazing. Number 6, from the Rekieta Twitter page, and then it says Patrick Melton X post, November 13th, 2024. So, like, what? Those are two people who aren't me and aren't Aaron. So what are we doing here? What do the statements of 2 third parties have to do with me being a reasonable threat to Aaron?
Which is death. Yeah, that's gonna, once again, that's brilliant. You guys did all that shit on stream.
Wish is death. Wishing death is not a threat. Under any legal analysis, wishing death on someone is not a threat. It's protected speech. But you have that First Amendment, so the speech has to be a true threat, otherwise it's protected. And the government doesn't get to intervene on speech alone. The reason a true threat is not protected speech is because a true threat is intended to convey fear or apprehension of imminent physical harm in the listener. That's what it's intended to do. Whether or not it doesn't actually matter. It's whether a reasonable person would reasonably interpret it to be intended to do so in this way, based on the totality of circumstances under which the statement is made.
The Hackamania live stream. Yep, that is going to be used.
For what? For what? The Hackamania live stream. Aaron created a video, participated at Hackamania. He participated at Hackamania. He made fun of everybody. He made fun of me. Perfectly fine. He participated in Hackamania. He was invited to. He accepted the invitation. You don't get to then go, like, they were making fun of me at a conference. Like, didn't you send a video in to participate in that conference? Well, yeah.
Live stream comments about the minor child. Yeah, like talking about her being a cup holder and shit. I'm sure the judge is going to be thrilled about that.
It doesn't matter if the judge is thrilled about that or not. That is not restraining order material. So a lot of people have made a big mess, and I really have wanted to talk about this because it's kind of important in regards to analyzing this. He's like, a judge isn't going to like that. A judge doesn't like most things that are said by people in the court. Like, that's why they're in court, right? But that's not a legal basis for a judgment from a judge or a ruling or an order being granted. Aaron got a temporary restraining order against Patrick Melton that includes Aaron's oldest minor child, based on comments or jokes, if you're sane, that Patrick Melton has made about said minor child. But it's not if the jokes make Aaron uncomfortable and cause Aaron mental anguish. That would be Aaron getting a restraining order against Melton for his own mental anguish. Getting a restraining order that includes protecting the child is going to require a showing that the child has undergone mental anguish, or that Patrick Melton intended the child to undergo mental anguish with the comments. How are you going to do that? Because why is the child aware in any way of any comment made by Patrick Melton about the child? That would have to be explored and explained in court. You're going to have to explain how the child became exposed to the comment in the first place when Patrick Melton has never communicated with this child. He has never talked to this child in any way. He doesn't have the ability that I know of, at least. And if he does, roast him. Like, literally, if he was actually reaching out and contacting this child to cause her mental anguish, then he'd be a monster that would deserve every bad thing that happens to him. Except that's not happening. That's obviously untrue. So what they're going to have to do is show how that child is undergoing mental anguish. And the primary question is, how did she become aware of these comments? Did you tell her about them? Like, did you show her the video clip? Like, what the are you doing if that's the case?
It may be, I mean, nothing happens, but he's going to have to squirm and explain why that's okay. And the judge is going to be like, I don't think it's funny.
But he doesn't. Sorry, judge. Yeah. He's going to have to explain why that's okay. No, he won't have to explain why it's okay. Aaron will have to explain why it's not. That's a big difference. And it's a much harder thing to do. Just because a joke is...
love bingers? Where is the law pope and unbreaded? Why don't you work normally hours?
Which normally hours do you mean? Like, do you mean my normal hours? Or do you mean like, why don't I work normal hours during the day? I'm busy all day. Pretty much every day. I just am. It's working on getting back away from that. But for now, I'm just busy all day, every day. So I stream at night when I have time. And I'm streaming kind of at the limit of the amount of time that I have as well to do so even at night. I wanted to stream yesterday. I was just exhausted because I was on 3 or 4 days in a row of like 3 hours of sleep. And yeah, I just needed some rest.
So the petitioner's witness list. Ashley LaRue. That is Aaron's ex-wife, I believe. I don't know.
Yes.
And Gosh, or Gosh, or Gotch, or Gooch. Slam Piece. Any and all witnesses named by Nick. Aaron himself.
Again, so here's the crazy thing. What on earth are Ashley and Ann going to testify to in regards to me? The only time I've ever spoken to Ann, because I've never met her in person, was when she messaged me on Instagram. That's right. Ann followed me on Instagram and sent me a message on Instagram. I didn't reach out to Ann. I didn't do any of that. She reached out to me and sent me a message. I responded to Ann on Instagram. Otherwise, I've had no contact with her and don't know her. Ashley LaRue, I've never spoken to in my entire life. So what is Ashley LaRue or Ann going to testify to in regards to Aaron's fear of me? XMMM says, not even months ago, Aaron was saying Sean was going to ref a Twister competition at his anniversary show. That's real. That is real. I don't know how much of it was serious, but he definitely said that. I'm still pissed off. First of all, he calls it naked twister. Wrong. It was strip twister. Strip twister is different than naked twister. Naked twister is everybody's naked and you play twister. Strip twister is everybody is clothed and you start playing twister. In each round, whoever loses, whoever falls first, has to remove an article of clothing. It's fun. It's a blast. You could even play it without getting naked. Like you could play strip twister and just have everybody in like, some sort of plain underwear or like a swimsuit. If you don't want it to be lewd, it's still fun to play. Like it's a fun game. It's also really hard because when you're old and you play twister, you're like, oh my God, this is a hard workout. Strip twister is a blast. I recommend everybody try it. Try it with your best friend and your mom. Nakadashi Tomodachi says, so you, your wife, and Aaron played strip twister. Yes, and April. It was fun. In fact, well, I don't know if anybody ever like actually got down to nude in that. I was trying. It's a tiring game. Twister is made not for big people. Plead the fifth. He's like, what should I say to this? No, I was trying to remember. Like, I genuinely don't remember if anybody got naked. Like, I've talked about strip twister a million times. It was fun. It's a blast. One person got really pouty about it and was like, I don't want to be naked, and ran off. Quit playing. here I was knocking people down, trying to get their clothes off. Like, I don't understand why this is hard to understand. Were you trying to get yourself naked, Nick? I am always trying to get myself naked. Like, it's my preferred state of being. It's just that there's many places where that's not appropriate, obviously, and I'm not going to do that.
I think they're really going to focus. Like, if Aaron's ex-wife's coming in, they're really going to hammer on the kid shit for Melton.
Terrible plan. Terrible plan. What are you going to do? Unless the child is getting therapy for the comments of Melton, bringing in the ex-wife is legally irrelevant because she can't testify that she is having a problem with the jokes or the statements. She has to testify that the daughter is. All right. Once you do that, the obvious question: how's the daughter seeing this stuff? Why isn't the daughter testifying? Why isn't the minor child listed on the witness list? That minor child is old enough to testify competently in court. So why aren't they there? Why aren't they talking about it? What mental anguish? How has this child seen a single thing Melton has said at all? First of all, he doesn't talk about her that much. Second of all, he doesn't talk about her negatively. Well, obviously, he would talk negatively as a subset of talking about her at all. And it's significantly less.
I think that's what they're going to hammer on. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough at the end of the day. Karen says, with this change of the toast, they said they were domestic lovers and partners. Like I said, I think that's a very interesting gambit to run. I don't think it. I mean, like,
no. The legal standard is still the same, is the answer.